Happy 420.
Happy 420.
420. Oh, whoa, whoa. What was that? Was that a
No,
pin or was that
yeah, that was a real pen.
okay. I was like, that
Not a
looks like
vape pen.
yeah, I was like, that looks like a different type of paper. My
Smoking plastic.
yeah. I feel like 420 doesn't really have the same effect as it did when we were younger. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's definitely like a kid's thing because most of us all pretty much smoke every day,
All the
you know,
time.
so it's just not, it's the actual like 420 isn't like
Like the
like the holiday.
celebratory.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I gotta go and get this and
Like
it,
you didn't go to a dispensary and buy
right.
a whole bunch of weed and get a bunch of discounts
Yeah,
and get a free swag bag
yeah,
of stuff.
exactly. Like it used to kind of be like a bigger thing, like a holiday, more celebratory, I guess.
Well, maybe that's another thing with age, I guess.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. And just the whole idea of I think weed and cannabis has evolved over the decades. Like, I mean, it's pretty much recreational everywhere except for a
I
few
love it.
states. You
I
know what I
love it.
mean?
And mushrooms are
So,
coming, so that's going to be good too.
yeah, like America is definitely, I think people need to come to terms with the fact that people, maybe, I don't know if it's like this globally or in other nations or what, but Americans are into drugs.
I think also too, like with mental health and the economy and how it's helping the economy, and then like people in high regard are using drugs now, or using marijuana and mushrooms now to microdose for their mental health and for their kids' mental health. I think they're being more accepted to it. I know a lot of people, when it wasn't illegal, did not care for it, and then when it became illegal,
It
they
became
have a
legal. Yeah.
when it became legal weed, they smoke more than me. So
Yeah.
it's
Well,
just how the outlook, the education, and also
the legality.
the legality of it and the realness of what it really does. And it's not like cocaine or meth or heroin. It's natural, and it's good for you. It's saving a lot of people's lives, and helping a lot of people progress through their day.
Yeah,
So
no, I definitely, because I think that's probably where I have evolved into as a cannabis advocate, is I use it medicinally. Like, I mean, I definitely enjoy it socially at home now. Like, I don't really like smoking out and about, like at a club or at a party or whatever, because you got to pay attention. But and I definitely don't smoke with people. I always have my own little J. But anyways, we can get into that later. But
you mean you don't pass? You
yeah,
don't pass
nah.
puff
Mm-mm.
pass.
No, hello, we're just coming out of COVID era. But actually, I wasn't sharing joints with people like even when I was like in LA. I don't know you. And I am personally a germaphobe. So the idea of like I don't drink after people. I've always been this way. I never drink after people. I don't eat after people. I don't none of that.
Mm,
So
yeah,
I don't feel comfortable passing blunts and joints, like that. But that used to be the thing, the ciphers. Like everybody would just be out there and everybody would, you know, pass, 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 puff, puff, pass, or whatever. But nowadays, I don't do that. I don't do that
yeah.
anymore.
I mean, I'm definitely one of the kids who smoked. I smoked by myself because I had problems, and then I smoked socially, and then later on it became like a creative outlet, and it really helped me get out of my funk. as far as like drawing and music and stuff. But in the beginning, no, it was like beer. It was like when you're first 40, when I turned 16, like drinking with friends, you know what I'm saying? It was, oh, we graduated from 40s to marijuana, and I'll be smoking in my backyard
Yeah.
and then getting and then go to school. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And then I'd be hot boxing with friends or whatever. But I definitely would always puff past, because that is the weed culture, Stacy. You're
You know,
violating. You was
no,
violating.
I am. And I used to feel that way, like, oh, that's not cool to, be somewhere and not pass to somebody else.
Yeah, because I
But
remember I remember being in the Bay. This is the first time I've seen this. And I'm with my friends and stuff, and I'm in a cipher with people I just met, and they're just passing the weed, and I'm like thinking like I never paid for
herpes.
weed,
I'm
and I'm
thinking
like,
herpes. I'm thinking
well, sure,
meningitis.
but I'm thinking like, man, I
I
don't
don't
know
know
this
you.
cat. Yeah, I don't know this cat from Adam, but he's letting me smoke his $20 sack. You know what I mean? Like he's sharing his
Right.
weed with everybody,
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
didn't we didn't put five on it or anything. And I
Right.
just thought like that was like a cool like community. It's like when you go outside and ask for a cigarette, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, I got one. And then you
Right.
start talking to the guy who gave you a cigarette.
Shoot.
It's kind of
Yeah,
like that.
but
So it's
then
like,
but then cigarettes became $8.50 a pack, and people stopped sharing the cigarettes too.
my friend to this day still does it. I'm like, man, you paid $15 for your little box.
Right.
I'm
Yeah,
just
they're probably
like,
more than
and
that.
then
Yeah,
some random
exactly.
homeless person's like, yo, you got another one of those? And
Yeah.
I'm just like, damn, dude, because I was gonna buy me some smokes the other day, and I'm like, $17. Like, I'm
Wait, you
cool.
lying. You're playing with
It
me.
was it was crazy. Yeah, it was like for a box or some shit. I'm like, are you serious? Like,
It's $17 for a
it
box of
was something.
cigarettes
Yeah,
these days?
it was something crazy. And he just
Wow.
bought his, and I was like, because I was gonna get some American spirits, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
man, I'm cool on
Oh,
17, 14, whatever the fuck. I don't care. It was two digits. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I'm old enough to know that I used to spend like six on like a cart. You know what I'm saying? Like, or a box. I mean, like just like a box. Now it's like
Yeah.
double that. I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
Save me
Like,
some money.
yeah,
I'd rather buy Star Wars or Batman figures than smoke.
yeah, yeah. That definitely helped me to quit smoking cigarettes, was when that pack was like $8. I said, oh, no, 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 no. I won't be doing that.
Yeah. Plus, weed's legal, so I'd rather smoke weed than
Yeah.
smoke some rat
But
guts.
but even with weed, or like I think I was alluding to earlier, is that I smoke it medicinally now. And we could talk about that later too. But it's weed is expensive. Like growing up, I
Yeah,
mean,
but it's
us
worth
living,
it.
but listen, us growing up in Sacramento, I would have to say that we were definitely blessed, because I mean, we knew a lot of people who had weed, so we didn't have to.
A lot of the plug.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't have to pay
Yeah, I never
for
paid. I never
weed.
paid.
Yeah,
Ever. Like,
but no, but I did. After a while, I had to start paying, and then I was just like, heck no, I'm not paying for it. It's too
yeah, I
expensive. You
never
know what I
paid
mean?
till it became legal.
Yeah, right. But then now that it's legal, and there's taxes you have to pay, like for you only get like a little eighth in these cute bottles,
Right.
and it's like anywhere from like $13 to $75 for a
Whatever it
little
takes for
couple
it to
little nugs.
whatever it takes for it to remain legal, I don't care. I will pay.
That's crazy.
I
That's crazy to me.
because I love it.
Yeah. No, I
Whatever
love
it
it too.
takes. You know what
I
I'm saying?
You know why I like weed? I like weed because I've experienced it to help me with anxiety, for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Hear that a lot. Yep.
It helps with pain,
Mm-hmm.
like menstrual cramps.
Sure. I don't have that, but keep going.
Right. But like it helps with pain. It helps with
Absolutely.
inflammation. And like you said earlier, it does spark a little, you know,
And I think that's
excitement
part of
or
it too.
creativity.
Now that I was thinking about it, I think what gave it more leeway too was a lot of older people, like senior citizens, start smoking or doing edibles because of the pain. It numbed
Yeah.
their pain.
Yes.
And
Yes.
a lot of
Chronic
people and
pain.
their families were who probably against it now are advocates for it because their grandmother or grandfather can live a more easier life, who they love very much, and whatever it takes, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For them to feel better because you love them so much. It's like,
Yeah. Versus
so
taking
that's a,
that, yeah,
yeah.
versus taking those painkillers, the
Oh my
Motrin
God, 100%,
or the naproxen
100%.
or Vicodin, like all
Yep.
that man-made stuff, it really messes with the lining in your stomach.
Mm.
There's a lot of different effects
Your
that
blood, your
prescription pills.
bloodstream, your
Yeah.
brain, your body, your kidneys,
Yep.
everything. Like, but you smoke some weed. I mean, the worst thing it could do is mess up your throat because you're coughing, or your lungs if you're smoking. If you're
Yes.
doing edibles, then you probably
Right.
you'll be fine.
And honestly, that's the one thing that I do feel that it is harmful. Like smoking it, lighting, anything you put fire on and you
You inhale
inhale
smoke.
those carcinogens, that carbon, whatever,
Yeah.
is going into your lungs. And at least it's not maybe nicotine and cigarettes, where if smoke those cigarettes that have a bunch of chemicals and stuff like that, at least you don't have those things going into your lungs. But I feel like, that's the only thing I don't like about smoking, because I like to smoke. I like to smoke orally. I like my joints.
Yeah, me too.
Um,
That's why I'm an
like,
advocate for those vaporizers. Are they called
well,
vaporizers?
yeah,
There's
but
they take
those,
they take out the bad part. You just get the THC and you smoke it, and it just goes right in. It hits you really
yeah,
naturally and good.
right. Like, but even those have to be heated up. Even those have some kind of, but I know they're working on different vapes that are more, conscious about the smoke, the carcinogens that you're inhaling and stuff. So I'm not well equipped on that, because I'm not really into vaping. I'm not into smoking synthetic oils.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't mean the vape pens. I mean, God, I wish I would do research now, but I'm lazy. I remember going to a friend's house and she had this like big old instrument, and it was like you put the weed here. It's like this big old thing. I think you light something up or whatever, and you just smoke right here, and it takes all the THC. I'm not talking about the vape pens or stuff like that, like the synthetic stuff. I'm talking about like real. It's just like this big machine. I thought it was called vaporizers. Maybe I'm wrong, but
Like the dab stuff,
no.
the
I don't know. I'm not
hash.
familiar with no.
No, none of that. Where you separate the yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I'm pretty old school.
Yeah, I
My
was old school. That's when I
flowers.
did it. I did it when I was young, and she put weed in the thing in the machine, and I smoked it, and there was no coughing. It went down smooth. It hit me faster.
So some kind of bong, some kind of
Yeah,
water
but it was like a
bong.
vaporizer though. It was like it was this is like a decade ago. This is way
Right.
before vape pens and all that shit.
Yeah. No, it sounds like
Synthetic
some
oil
kind of
shit.
bong. Like those bongs, like that's too much. Like those bong rips, like those huge water bongs.
Oh, I
I,
love
I
those. I
actually
love
like
doing that.
those, like because it probably feels more like a menthol feeling, you know?
I just like the
But
whole water in the tank, the sound when you
yeah,
inhale and blow out. I just like the whole thing. Taking
I
the
don't
thing
know.
out.
Yeah, I just always had a thing with pipes and bongs. I just felt like a crackhead. And then I didn't like the fact that you had to share bong, put your
Oh,
mouth on
Jesus
the same
Christ, dude.
thing. No,
So
I'm
many
serious.
violations.
Seriously, I'm trying to tell you, I'm a germaphobe for
It's
real.
funny because when I gave you some weed, and I came over, I thought we were gonna smoke one joint
Oh,
because I gave those to you to have, and then you gave me my own, and I'm like, okay. I mean, she's not.
oh yeah.
I thought we were
No,
gonna puff
and
puff
that's
pass.
see, some people might have heard me say earlier that I don't pass, I don't, smoke in ciphers or whatever.
Violation.
But if people are with me, I always roll them up their own J. That's a win-win if you ask me.
And to be honest, I prefer that. But if we smoked one joint, I wouldn't have questioned because
Right,
that's
right,
just
right.
that's what I'm used to.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. And
I was
I was,
surprised because
yeah,
I gave her 5.
right.
And she gave me one. I'm like, these are free, free. Okay, let's go.
Yeah. No,
I'm not gonna argue.
yeah, no, ask anybody that's been around me, that knows me. I don't smoke with other people. I'll roll you up something and you can have your own J, but you know,
I understand that. I've smoked other people's J's to where like it's so wet.
right.
I'm just like,
Lipsticks
what?
and
Did you make out? I say, did you make out with this motherfucker? Like, you want me to smoke? I'm not smoking it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
ruined the whole night because
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell everybody else, don't look at this. Don't smoke this. I had to dry it with my shirt.
Yeah.
Who
Like I've never had a
you been
cold
kissing
sore.
on?
Yeah,
Who
exactly.
you
I never
loving? Who you want to be hugging? I need to
yeah,
go.
right. Yeah, no. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I could.
I don't want no cold sores, none
I
of that.
see that, but my years of smoking, which is a lot, I've never had issues or anything. I guess I'm lucky, but
But like I said, no, when I
it's just a weed culture.
right, right, right. When I was younger, I did that. I would, yeah,
Okay,
we shared blunts, but when I like literally the last 10 years, I don't share
I
nothing.
don't, and I think this generation too. I don't think they. Oh, I don't know. I think new people don't understand that. Like I know there's people who I know who just started and they'll roll up whatever and never share, or they'll like you like they'll give me one and they won't share. They just give me my own. It would because I'm like if I'm smoking, if you smoking some good stuff, you're gonna get high and probably if you're doing it right, you're gonna get high off of the second or third puff and you're gonna be good. You know what I'm saying? There's been times where somebody will smoke something and then they'll give me the rest of it and it's still a good half. You know what I mean? Because they're gone. They're
Yeah,
already, you know.
right. Yeah. And they don't want to smoke after you.
I
Like,
guess,
not, no,
yeah,
I'm
that
not
too.
just saying you. I'm not just saying you. I just know that people like I've done that before. Like I'll get whatever and I'll be like, oh, here you go. If I'm out at a club and
Yeah.
somebody I could tell that they're like drooling over my joint or whatever, then I'll be like, okay, here you go.
Even when we had our
You
own
got it.
stick, like I was done, but I could smoke to the roach, but I was gone. I'm gone
Yeah.
already.
All
After
right.
3 hits,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, me,
now it turns into a cigarette.
yeah, like that's one thing that is totally different for me now too, is like I can have a little bit of weed or whatever, and like I just hit it a little bit, you know. I don't
Oh,
need like
yeah.
back in the day, like we used to smoke blunts after blunt
Oh,
after blunt
well,
after blunt after blunt. You know what I mean? Like 20 blunts a day, that Looney song. But not anymore. Like that's so unnecessary. You're not getting high anymore, people. You're not, you
yeah,
know. But
it's kind of like you're numbing your high.
yeah, I think people are just used to it's such a social thing.
That and it turns into like cigarettes. It just turns into like a normal habit,
Yeah. Like
and you're just high already.
do you think weed is addictive?
Not for me. I can be because, but that's I think with anything, even drugs, food, money, spending, sex. I think any overabundance of anything is can be turned into an addiction. But I don't have an addictive personality, and I've done almost every drug in the world, and I'm not addicted to any of them. When I moved out here, I stopped smoking for like a little bit. It wasn't a problem. I don't have withdrawals or anything. So, but it can be when but I feel like people who are like that, there's something going on inside of them,
Yeah.
whether it's mental or chemical. There's something there you're trying to like to hide, like a bar fight keeps drinking every day after work. Sure, it's habitual, but it's also like you probably don't want to go home because you don't want to deal with reality. You know what I mean? You're
Yeah.
doing Molly all the time, you're doing cocaine all the time because you don't want to deal with reality.
Right.
And that's
Yeah.
a mental issue. You know what I'm saying? And then there's
Yeah.
alcoholism where people think it's well not think, but people say it's hereditary, which I don't really buy into, but whatever,
It could be.
It could be, but
Because
I really think it's more like you probably it's like a self inflicting defense where you
a
don't like it
numb,
you
yeah.
don't like your father because he was an alcoholic, but you're using it for an excuse for yourself because of all the bullshit that he did. So you see his patterns and you copy it because you secretly, or not secretly, but you do admire your father because that's your father. You know what I mean? So there's that too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah. I
anything's
mean,
possible.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I definitely, that's very deep. You went really deep with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even have anything to say about that, but you know, I just know that people are all made up differently. You know, like even some people who smoke weed, like certain people just shouldn't smoke weed, certain people shouldn't drink. You know,
I
it
agree.
just depends on your chemical makeup of your body. And I think people need to understand that. It's like, you know, back in the day, I remember people would be like, kind of get on you if you didn't smoke or if you didn't
Or
drink or
drink,
whatever.
yeah.
But
I
as you,
used to be one of those people who would get on you.
yeah, and but as you get older, you learn that that's just not your body makeup, your chemistry, your whatever genetics doesn't tolerate weed or it doesn't tolerate alcohol. So you have to know your limits. You have to, but I think you definitely it could be addictive. I think marijuana is addictive for some.
Yeah, anything can though. It just depends on where your weakness is. Like for me, for a minute was buying shoes, but under that was the fact that I was getting over a breakup, and and then with that, I never had a collection of shoes before. I never was into shoes. You know what I'm saying? So now that I have my own money, I'm like buying crazy shoes because
Yeah,
I just love shoes.
yeah,
So it's just I had a shop addiction because I was hiding pain inside, and but then there's also the fact that I have the freedom to not only do I know myself, I have my own style, but I have the freedom and luxury to buy these things. You know what I'm saying? So I just went
yeah.
crazy, and now I've stopped. I'm stopped now. But it
You
was a
made it through
problem.
that troubled
Yeah,
time.
it's like
You
a
made it
phase.
through.
We go through phases like friends
Yeah,
and food and weed and jobs and finances and apps. We just go through phases. And video
yeah,
games,
yeah, yeah. No, people, we all have our vices, like you said. You know, shopping is one, food is an addiction,
women or men,
sex, yeah, sex,
porn. Yeah,
yeah, all that. Like everybody has their vices. And I feel like, you know, those things should be done in moderation. This is just my personal opinion. They should be done in moderation
I
because they you don't want those vices to control you.
no,
Yes, it
that's
helps. Yes, it helps us to get through certain moments,
numb the pain
but it's temporary. And you're gonna be out a gang of money
because
or whatever.
the numbness will diminish,
Come back.
and
Yeah.
then the problems will still be there. They didn't
If you
go
don't
nowhere.
address it. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That bill on the table or all now online or on your app is still going to be there. That unpaid bill. You
Yeah.
can smoke as much, you could do as much heroin or sniff as much cocaine you want. That unpaid bill is still going to be there. That woman's still gone. That man's still gone. That rent's still due. So I mean, I never understood why people. I get why people do that, but like the disappointment of waking up, you know what I'm saying? Because it's always going to be there. And then let's say you don't have the rent, and then you just go out and get high, but then you're
You
going to get
wasted
kicked
that
out.
money. Yeah, you
You know what I'm
wasted
saying?
that money you could have been saving for to put towards
Well,
whatever
you
you
probably don't have 1,200 for rent, but you have 50 for smack. You know what I mean? You have a 20 for a sack. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. But it's also, I mean, as you get older too, you learn like how different substances affect you. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I know that there's certain weeds, and yeah, indica, sativa, they have their differences, they do different things, but you really need to know like your limits, I think, with certain things. Otherwise, for me, I'm not productive. If I smoke a certain type of weed or too much weed, like it'll have me super lazy the next day. That's why I kind of quit too. And then if you're not productive, then how are you gonna get money or make money to pay that rent or whatever bill you need to pay?
I think
Like,
with me with weed, when I was younger, I abused it like alcohol, right? You drink alcohol to get drunk. You get, with your friends, you smoke weed, you're high, you're laughing uncontrollably with your friends. And then I had a new group of friends who were more about conversation and building and stuff. So when I smoke with them, we go and be in a cipher, and then we just be building and talking about some dope, crazy shit. And then that led into my creativity to where like I would lead these discussion ciphers and, just create and draw or make music or whatever. And
yeah,
that's the beautiful thing about
yeah.
smoking with a group of people. And that's where I kind of got arrogant about people who just smoke just to smoke, because I'm like, you
Yeah.
wasting weed because you're not building, you just smoking just for escapism, but you're not building, you're
Which
not
is
like
okay too
digging
sometimes.
inside.
Escapism is okay sometimes, but not all the time. You got to deal with the root problems for sure.
Yeah, if you're doing escapism to numb a pain, I don't think you're doing it right.
Yeah,
It's like, because your miles, I mean, you're abusing it then. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? Like alcohol, like any other drug, like
yeah,
whatever. But if you're smoking and you're dwelling on it and then figuring out solutions and patterns and, getting spacey and stuff, or then that's a good thing, right? You know what I'm saying? Or you're using it to sleep, or use it to numb your physical pain, uh, for your back or something. That's fine. But like for me, weed has always been a creative uh, uh, stimulus for myself, and to build with others, and it's been very lucrative. I love it.
yeah. No, it is. It's great, but also just throw this out here, like, you do kind of want to know who you're smoking with or what people's limits are, because I've been in some situations where people have smoked and have gone cuckoo. You know what I mean?
I
And
never have.
yeah, like I say, that's why I say some people are not built to smoke, some people aren't
Sure.
built to drink, aren't built to do any of that kind of stuff. And
And I think they're smoking it, they're doing it wrong. And they probably
yes.
they probably don't
But
have
we were
friends.
younger. Yeah, we were
Sure, they
younger.
probably don't have friends who are like, yo, let's sit in this cipher, or let's sit in this living room, let's sit on the floors, let's puff puff pass, and let's just build. Or
Yeah, yeah. And
some people don't have that.
yeah, no, they don't. It's you want to have a safe environment. Like whenever you're out of your mind or you're lifted or whatever, you want to be in a safe
Lifted.
environment. Yeah, you want to be in a safe environment because that could ruin the experience. Like that's why I think I haven't tried like mushrooms or acid or anything like that, because I don't know. I just need to be very comfortable with the people that I'm surrounded with. And in those situations, I was never comfortable with the people I was surrounded with.
Yeah, acid is a trip. That's why
Yeah,
it's an acid trip.
right. Yeah, yeah,
Acid's a trip. Mushrooms are a trip. Cocaine, all that shit.
yeah,
LSD. It's a trip, man. But it's a good
yeah,
trip.
yeah.
Ecstasy is a trip. Ecstasy is the best trip.
You did say that, but I don't know. I just feel like this is my personal opinion, you guys, no judgment, but I just feel like it's man-made. Like I just don't feel
There's that
anything
part, yeah.
anything that's man-made, I'm super sus. Like I don't even put GMO foods in my body. So if I have the choice. So I just anything man-made, I feel I'm sus about, because especially nowadays, like I feel like people are just super incompetent. And I mean, I'm sure there was like overdoses back in the day. People overdosed on different drugs or whatever. But I just feel like we're in an era where people are dumb as fuck, and I don't even think the dope dealers even know how to mix drugs right
I don't
anymore.
even know if there's an error. I just think people are just dumb. And then with the fentanyl added nowadays.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like you hear more of those stories now. Maybe it's just because of social media or whatever. But like, yeah, fentanyl, like, it's too, I don't know. I just think people are incompetent, and I don't trust any people to be scientists and mix up my drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like, forget all of that. But that's just my own personal take on it.
I think Breaking Bad inspired too many people.
Right. And so
to
that's
just
like,
be like, yo, I'm trying to be
yeah,
Mr.
like,
White myself.
right. People are probably just watching YouTube videos or on Reddit or whatever these back channel, sites are, and learning how to do it. And, those kind of things, you can't really have trial and error because you're going to kill people,
We
like with
lost Mac
weed.
Miller.
Yeah, exactly. And his drug dealer just got 11 years.
He's
Sentenced
done.
11 years for that. But so yeah. And I wonder, I don't even think they would have pursued Mac Miller for real, like that, his drug dealer, if it wasn't Mac Miller that died.
Yeah,
Do you think?
Prince too, right? Like Prince and Michael Jackson and
Right. Like,
all these celebs, like they're going after the doctors and the drug dealers.
yeah, because that Mac Miller's drug dealer, I mean, I didn't read into the story, but I mean, did he kill other people in the past? And now that Mac Miller passed from it, he finally got convicted. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, I was just kind of wondering that as well.
Yeah, I think there's I think he said like he feels bad about it and he's just taking his punishment like a man, because I think he said he didn't know what was in it.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, that proves my point. Y'all need to stop doing these man-made drugs.
But read the article. I don't know. I just think, because I think when I heard it this morning or something, and it's like he's taking the punishment on the chin, you know what I'm saying? Because he deserved it. But I think he said like he didn't know how much fentanyl was in it or whatever, so he's gonna take responsibility for it because he's the one who gave it to him.
These people probably don't even know what teaspoons and tablespoons are. Like,
they didn't measure nothing. They're just,
you know what I mean? They're just like, just a damn pinch of pepper, pinch.
You got some more? Like, just put the rest of it. Just put the rest of it in there. We're just gonna put everything in it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah,
but with weed, with marijuana, like, it's been here for so long, and there's so many people who are passionate about it, and there's so many resources of how to grow and indoor, outdoor, and different strains. Like, there's people who really have a passion for engineering, and cultivating marijuana or cannabis, whatever.
And it's probably the safest drug or whatever to use, right? Stimulant to use. But I have to be an advocate for at least LSD and ecstasy. You got to do it at least one time.
Nah.
If it wasn't for LSD, we probably wouldn't have Mac computers, or Mac computers.
Is that what
Apple?
Steve Jobs said or something?
He said he was on drugs when he came up with it.
I mean, sure, that is a drug.
And plus, don't we have LSD in our body anyway, or something like that? We have something like, I don't know. I'm giving false information on
right.
YouTube.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I'm not educated on any of that stuff.
Yeah, we have it's like is it that or MDMA or something? Like, we have some of that already in our bodies. It's just when you take MDMA or LSD, it's just stimulating that part of your body. Right. But I'm an advocate for it. I'm just not an advocate for the addiction part of it, because now you have a psychological issue because you're using it to escape. But when you're using it to have at a party or trying to uplift your mind, like you said, lift it or whatever, you know what I'm saying, to get that mind stimulated, and I'm a total advocate for that. Because sometimes, I mean, Indians smoke peyote, whatever, to put you on another plane, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, as long as you know, like people are gonna do drugs regardless. And I feel like you have to be responsible like with it at this point in life because just if you are, I don't know who your sources are, know who your dealers are, and hopefully you don't get caught up with a bad batch or whatever. But I just don't think it's safe to be at parties and just doing everybody's drugs. Like that's a fast life. That's a easy way to get caught up in some BS
My
or
next
die.
my next venture is to do the get the shaman thing where you go in the forest and
Oh, ayahuasca
do the
or whatever.
ayahuasca joint. That's my next trip.
See, I mean, even with that, like a lot of people who are wealthy are into that whole trip. And people go to these nice, what distant off in the yonder places and get with shamans and do all that stuff. I mean, hey, people are
I
out
mean,
here
at least
searching and seeking for something. So
yeah, at least you're in a at least they're there to protect you. That's why you pay all that money, right?
yeah,
But
but I don't know. I
I'm with it.
still, I still don't know how I feel about certain. But I mean, it's all anything we consume messes with our chemicals in our brain, like it's all chemical reactions. Even like when you take prescription pills, it's a chemical reaction that's telling the pain wherever it is in your body to stop hurting. Like that's basically how it all works. All these things manipulate our chemicals, but you just have to be, you still just have to be safe.
But it's
That's what
kind of
I,
like that. There's that part of it, and like ecstasy, like it definitely enhances like all your endorphins and gives you all the tingles inside, but also makes your throat dry and makes you
yeah,
you know.
makes you clench your teeth when you wake up the next day.
Oh,
Like,
I did that didn't happen to me, but
yeah, no, but that's what I've
I did
heard.
have to
Like,
drink water, and because I was when I first did it, I was scared because I would hear like the bad stuff, right? Like some women, broke out in hives, people overdosing off of one, and then I did it and I was fine. It was the greatest thing I ever did.
yeah, I mean, and that's the
The
thing.
greatest
Like,
high ever.
I feel like that's what people are looking for. They're looking for good feelings. Like with all this stuff, people like what you were saying earlier. It's like a lot of people are looking for ways to heal, but a substance isn't necessarily the answer, I don't think. Like
True,
if
but
you're really, but hold on, if you're really trying to heal,
mhm.
if you really want to get to another place, you have to be sober. I feel like you need to be sober. Like
Sober and then do drugs.
I mean, later if you want to, but
Oh, you mean just
but I'm just
clear and
saying if
conscious,
you're,
coherent?
I'm just saying if you have some kind of pain or trauma, not
Mhm.
physical pain, but emotional, mental, you know what I'm saying? Like I really feel the best way to get through all of that is not through drugs, it's through eating healthy, it's through exercise, it's through meditation, faith, it's through pure things that are lasting, things that are gonna actually do good for you. Because weed and alcohol, that's just gonna have you messed up. Like it'll be good for the night or for that moment. You might feel, super juiced or whatever, like you can make it, you can do it. But then that next day, that crash, that hangover, it's just gonna put you right back where you were. So I
I
don't know.
agree.
I truly feel like real healing, lasting healing comes from detox, from purity.
I agree because to me that's called like epiphanies, right? You kind of like maybe you did research, maybe you read some books, maybe you heard somebody talk in a discussion or something, and maybe you meditated or prayed on it, and then you had an epiphany, right? But I agree with that. But I also agree that weed and ayahuasca and mushrooms can stimulate a side of your brain that to where like you didn't even think about that until you did try those drugs, and it stimulated part of your brain to where like man, you know what? I've been worrying about this all this time, and now that I'm high, or I'm on ayahuasca, or I'm on another plane, and I found my spirit animal or whatever, and now I feel like the answer is this, like because I've been moving this way this whole time and it's not working. I do ayahuasca, then I move this way, and it's now my whole brain patterns changed,
Right.
and that can
No, I
only
feel that.
happen through drugs.
Yeah. No, hey, that's why
When
they've
you're
been
doing it the
here.
right way, not the escapism or numb my pain way. I'm talking about the
Yeah, where
stimulate
you
my brain.
abuse. Yes,
Yeah, I'm
yes.
talking about when you use it for good, subconscious level shit. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
responsibly. Like, I mean, like I said, I mean, I'm mushrooms, I guess, have been here forever.
Mm-hmm.
Weed's been here forever.
Mm-hmm.
Ayahuasca's been here for centuries. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? Like even in like I think it's like Saudi Arabia or like Afghanistan, there's just weed is a natural bush that just grows out there. You
That's
know, and they
amazing.
can't even smoke out there though. That's the crazy part.
That's
They
horrible.
can't even smoke it. But you know, it's natural. Like I really feel like it was put here for a reason. It was put here to help, to, help us get through physical pain, emotional pain, but
Think outside the box.
yeah, and I've had moments for sure where I smoked and like I feel like I had these crazy, great, amazing ideas, and it's definitely a great feeling.
It's a stimulant.
Yeah, it's definitely a great feeling. I mean, so
I mean,
yeah,
nothing goes right when you're in a bad mood and you're like drinking, or you're eating, or you're doing any kind of type of drugs and you're angry, or you're not in a good headspace. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna make it's gonna numb things, but it's not gonna make anything better. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But
because
when when you're mellowed out and you're chill, and you do it recreational or medicinal or whatever, your brain's going to be more calm, and it's going to stimulate it better, to where
yeah.
you'll be more creative, or your thought process will be more clear. You know what I'm saying? Like it just kind of supports you and pushes you. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I think I could get behind that. Like, if people are going through some tough times, or not even tough times, like, and they want to, dabble with a vice or whatever, like, yeah, do it when you're in a good mood.
Yeah.
Maybe not just when you're totally depressed. And I really don't think that's the answer. That won't make you feel good long term.
Or even
But
with like people do ayahuasca because they're lost, or they feel like maybe this I
they're
need something.
seeking something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, some people do meditation, some people do ayahuasca, some people go to Italy, some people go will go to Greece, and some
Yeah.
people do ayahuasca. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Like, I feel like,
there's so many experiences that we should try. We shouldn't knock down anything. We should just try everything.
well, you know what the real drug is? I think the real drug is pleasure.
Love. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is a form of pleasure, lust, love. You know what I'm saying?
Devotion. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it comes down to pleasure. And, sometimes some pleasure, if you get too much of that pleasure, it's not going to be good for you. It's not, it's not
Because
healthy.
some people puke or boo boo during ayahuasca. So I mean, it's
Yeah.
different for everybody.
Yeah. It's like
It's not even guaranteed to see anything.
yeah, it's a huge detail. I've seen some trippy things on this documentary. I can't remember which one it was, but I was just like, I don't think I'd want to do that. Can I get to that point another way?
I'm still down to do it. I don't care. I'll be butt naked.
You're all shaking and shivering, and I don't know. It just seemed
I've been shaking and
that's
shivering doing the edible.
yeah, dude.
I've been like in a fetal position, like I shouldn't have ate it. I should have ate
Yeah.
it. I should have
And you
ate
know
it.
what? And that's the thing, like I think for kids, that what kind of scares me is that since it's now recreational, and candy bars and candies and stuff like that, it's more appealing to kids, and they don't know about dosage and dosing. And I don't know, I just kind of wonder how, like, my niece and nephew, they basically grew up in an era, or definitely their kids will have grown up in an era when weed is legal. Weed is
Normal.
just like alcohol,
Yeah.
you know like that's, and I still feel like people have little reservations with weed, you know,
Yeah, those are
people
like old
that,
people though,
yeah, the older
or
people.
conservatives, or
Yeah.
Republicans.
Right.
Maybe.
But, you know, but it's literally just like alcohol, but alcohol is worse for you, you
Yeah,
know,
I'd rather smoke weed.
physically or your health wise.
I'd rather smoke
Yeah, weed doesn't have as bad, like alcohol is straight sugar and just toxic.
carbs,
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's
barley.
but it's acceptable and you have alcohol everywhere. So like soon I know like in Amsterdam they have the weed cafes. I know in Hollywood there was a weed cafe.
I hope it comes
But
back.
me
Come
too.
back.
Me too. Cause like that, that would be such a chill place. Cause like you would, you know, where you can go, you could smoke in a comfortable place, a safe place, you could eat, you could
Eat,
gather, you could
drink
create with
coffee. Yep.
others, talk, you know what I mean? Like that would be really, 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 really
God, that
dope.
cafe came right when COVID
I know.
hit, man. That's so
And it was popping too. Like you
fucked.
couldn't get reservations or nothing there, but
Oh, that first day was messy.
yeah, so but
First day was messy. I didn't even try. I was like, I'm good.
yeah. So I don't know. It's just I don't know. It's definitely we're living, evolving with weed. Like I mean, our even our parents' generation, like their generation was heavy in drugs, like the 60s. You know what I mean? That was like drug time.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It was just such a it seems like it was a lot more free. But then the 80s came around and they started locking people up for doing what everybody was doing, you know? Like it got politicized.
Not only that, but then people kept doing it and then acting the goddamn fool in public. So that's, they getting arrested for indecent exposure or being high in public and doing stupid shit while on drugs and
Yeah.
stuff. And it's like, do that with your friends.
Yeah.
be monitored.
Yeah.
When
And
you're
then
on
it's like,
LSD.
yeah, and conservatives, you know, they really like I think it was all political, but conservatives, they really tried to, you know, hold that back. But a lot of them and even their kids, I'm sure were on drugs, you know? And that's, I mean, I don't know. I just think we should have never had that war on drugs. It should have never been a war on drugs,
Well,
you know?
what's that one
Because
dude? That one
everybody,
dude.
because people need to understand, like Americans do drugs.
Yeah, even politicians, they have
Yes,
a brick of
absolutely.
cocaine in a car
Yeah,
right now.
probably.
I mean, cocaine is like the fire drug. What, you can't go to like, oh, uh, come over and bring the alcohol. I got the cocaine. Like somebody's gonna have cocaine at a
Yeah,
party, house party, get together, whatever. Somebody's gonna have it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a party drug. I've only done it at parties.
right.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's only
yeah.
a
So
problem when you're doing it at your house. And you're like, oh, let me get a bump. You do a bump real quick and then just go out. You do it. To me, it's a party drug. You do it with other people and then talk your ass off.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. People are always searching for something or like a pleasure. I think it just comes down to people just want to feel pleasure and liberated. But one thing I did learn as I started getting older is that I'm the one that's liberated. Like I don't, if I want to have fun, I don't need other people or anything to make me have a good time. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it was kind of like a cop out as I, you know, once I started kind of coming into the realization that if I want to, I don't need those things to have a good time, or I don't need those things to have amazing sex. Like I could, it's in me.
But that's the thing though, right? Like even with me and my friends, like when we would go to the club, we never came. We would always be sober. We would always be coherent because we didn't need it to to get on a dance floor. We would go in
Yeah,
and we
exactly.
would hit the dance floor real quick. We didn't need no courage juice or nothing.
Yeah,
We just
liquid
like
courage.
dance
Yeah,
and music.
exactly.
But once you keep doing that and you know how you are, you just not, I won't say you get bored, but you're like, okay, let me try this to see what happens if I'm on it. You know what I mean? So let me try cocaine in a house party environment and see how I am on cocaine. Let me see how I am when I'm on, on cannabis. Let me see how I am on LSD when I go over this chick's house. You know what I'm saying? Like you know how you were so many times sober. Now how am I at a rave doing ecstasy? You know what I'm saying? And then or having sex. And then then you get a whole new feeling. It's curiosity,
Yeah, I was gonna say
and
that.
then like you said, like pleasure, and then yeah,
Yeah,
it feels amazing.
right.
Sorry, but it does.
Yeah, yeah.
You're
So
just trying to catch something different. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
As a
yeah,
human, you just want to try new things. Like,
yeah. That's the thing. Like you said, humans are curious. Humans
yeah,
are
we're
pleasure
curious.
seekers, and too much pleasure can have us in a lot of trouble.
I found pleasure
You
buying
know,
shoes. I'm going to be broke.
right?
You know what I mean? I found
Yeah,
pleasure in eating food. I'm going to get fat and have high cholesterol. And I have high cholesterol. I didn't get fat, but I have high cholesterol. So it's like too much of anything isn't isn't a good thing.
yeah. No, absolutely. Moderation. Moderation is key. Being responsible, being informed. But when you're young, you don't even think about these things.
No, you
That's
just
why,
hang
that's
out with your
why,
friends,
yeah, you're just doing it. You're just woo woo
hang
willy
out
nilly.
and hustle with my friends.
Yeah. And then it's like a joke. Like I'm trying to remember. I think the first thing that I ever tried just because I was with friends was beaties. Do you ever
Mine was
smoke beaties?
mine was beer. Of course I have,
Yeah.
yeah. I smoked
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, like that was the thing. Like, and then I just remember how I stopped smoking BDs. I just threw it, but that was like just something you did because your friends did it. You know
God,
what I'm
that happened to
saying?
me with Switch of Sweets. Like I was the last time I smoked, I my mouth just was like, okay, we're done with Switch. That sweet part. I felt like I was gonna throw up. I was like, man, I can't smoke these anymore. Like, because I was so addicted to the sweet. And then the last time I just felt like I was gonna throw up. I said, man, I can't smoke these anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how. Yeah, that's how I stopped BDs. I threw up. I remember I came home hecka late one night and I just threw up in the bush and I was just like,
Yeah,
I'm
because it was
done.
because BD's BD's for me was like a chaser, right? Like we smoke weed, pass, puff, pass, or whatever, and then we all had a beat. We smoke BD after. You know what I'm saying? Because like you kind of like it was kind of like
Yeah,
cooled us down from the high. You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah,
now we're chilling, we're smoking.
yeah.
The
Well,
BD
that's
like
how
we're
I
just
was
chilling.
with. Yeah, that's how I was with Newports. Like after I would smoke weed, like I would have to have a Newport because it was like the best ever. Like it's just that next level. It was just like, that feels hecka good. Like it was perfect, but it was so bad. Like you don't even realize how bad certain things are. And you just pray for grace and mercy as you get older. And hopefully you don't get like COPD, in older age. Because a lot of the things we do in our, when we're young can come back in ailments as we get older.
Yeah, I'm getting it now.
Mm.
My high cholesterol.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, like, I don't know. I think I would just, the reason I kind of, I didn't really know what direction we were going to go into for this show, but I just want people to know that, like, people are doing drugs. People are doing drugs, and we need to be responsible about it. Because I just think about my niece and nephew, and I know one day they're gonna try it. they're
Yeah,
gonna they're gonna try it, and I mean, you don't want to. I know some people are super strict and they get mad at their kids or whatever, but you can't always protect your kids.
you can't.
You can't,
I mean,
so
the drugs are gonna be there any class too, middle, low, high. Like
right.
it's gonna be at every party.
Especially upper class.
Yeah,
that's
because they
where the
got the
drugs
money.
are. Yeah,
You go in,
exactly.
they're gonna be a buffet, and the whole table's drugs. Like pick your poison. It's all free.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's why, it's everybody has to get educated on everything and have open communication with your children, with your friends, and hopefully they don't get addicted. Like that's one thing I want to tell my niece and nephew for sure too, is that stay in school, hang out with the nerds, don't like the popular cool kids. The most of the popular cool kids that I know are either like dead, addicted to drugs, or just like not doing anything with their
I mean, that's the
lives.
thing though, too, right? Like when you're raising kids, you could just do your best as a parent or as a guardian, whatever. You can say what you want or whatever, but it's up to them to make that decision. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And go through life and experience things on their own, because it's kind of like you
But
taught
not
them
by themselves,
you
but
taught
not
them how
by
to fly and you
themselves.
let them go. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
now they have to fly through rocks and other,
Yeah.
avoid other birds and bats and stuff, and they're
Okay,
doing their own
bats.
thing.
Yeah. No, seriously, you have to like you just gotta equip them with reality.
Yeah, and I mean, it doesn't matter the poor, rich, middle class, or whatever. How many rich people are addicted to heroin, cocaine?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
that's
Like
what's happening right now, the
it does,
opioid
yeah, it
crisis.
don't, yeah. Oh my God, opium, fentanyl, like it don't matter. So it's like I'm saying, it rich, poor, middle class, drugs are everywhere.
Everywhere. Everywhere. And people need to come to reality about it. And since we're on this, they also need to, all the people who got locked up for weed,
I was just about to bring that up. I was just about to bring that up.
they
Let them
gotta let
go.
them out. They gotta let them
You
out.
better let them go.
Seriously.
Let them
Like
out, man.
like what do you mean there's people still in jail because of weed charges? Like what?
Yeah, especially in
Like especially,
California,
yeah, well, yeah, especially in
or
California.
yeah, like
But
let them go, man.
yeah,
Let
like
them
I
out.
know yeah, New York was super strict on weed. Like people,
Atlanta.
yeah, had like, yeah, all those southern states were super strict on weed or whatever, and people doing years.
Yeah.
But it's now like over $20 billion industry, and people are getting crazy paid off of it.
People getting crazy paid. People are getting crazy help. A lot of people are just,
Yeah.
living better lives. You
Like
know what
they
I'm
should have
saying?
already been let go. I know a lot of people were let go, but they got to do more. I don't think everybody's out for weed
I
charges.
mean, I hope there's like they made a department where they could just not overlook, but like
Like a task
look
force
at everybody's
record. Yeah.
jacket, and then see, okay, oh, this is all they did, so we get him out of here. Oh, this guy raped blah, 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 weed, okay, keep him in, stuff like that.
Whole life affected
Yeah,
now.
if this is your first offense and only offense, and now you got busted 3 times selling weed, get get him out, get her out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Get those people out.
Yeah.
If that's your only defense, you haven't done anything else, and that in your last offense, and the reason why you're in there is because of that. Get out, let them out,
Yeah. They really need to, because people is out here big smoking,
man. We like
especially today.
people who weren't smoking are now smoking.
Okay. Exactly.
Wink,
Exactly.
wink.
Right. It's crazy. Did you know how 420 originated? Like
Oh,
the
the
actual,
420.
yeah.
Somebody told me, but I think I was too high to remember.
I actually didn't know, but
Ironically,
right. I looked it up, and it was basically some friends who were sent on like some Coast Guard guys in the Army or in the Coast Guard had weed plants, right? And they planted them somewhere off in Marin County. Okay. So 420 originated in San Rafael, California. And these Coast Guards planted these weed plants, created a map, so that they could get back to the weed plants. And these boys were at a high school. I think it was, I don't know what, I can't remember what the high school was called, but it was in San Rafael, California. And they were approached by one of the Coast Guard's brothers and was like, hey, I have this map to go find weed. And let's go on a excursion and, you know, find this weed. So they were like on a treasure hunt for weed. But the actual 420 was just like, you know, a code word for them to find, or 420, they were supposed to meet at this statue, Louis somebody. So it was actually called 420 Louis. And 420 was the time that they were supposed to meet at this statue. So that's basically how it started.
So 420 is a time.
Yeah, it's
not the date.
Exactly. It was actually a couple brothers and friends who went on an adventure. Every day at 420, they met at a statue to go search. This was in 1971. Right. So they went and they never found the weed plants. And so, yeah, so basically it just, the word 420 went viral because it was like a code word for these kids in high school to, you know, to go smoke and to go, you know, they were called the Waldo brothers. And they were just called the Waldos. And the reason they were called the Waldos was because they would just sit on a wall at their high school and like smoke weed, or they didn't smoke weed, but they would just crack jokes about people. But they were like heavy weed smokers in high school, you know what I mean? So it was originally called 420 Louis, but then they dropped the Louis and people just use 420 as a code word, you know, 420, like in front of parents and, you know, people they didn't want to know about it. And it just basically went viral.
So everybody smoke some for the Waldos.
And they're still alive. And then, okay, so like to me, it was such an interesting story because, you know, when you repost stuff, things go viral. But with them, it was all like word of mouth. Like they were in high school, then in college. So people in college were from all over the world. So, you know, people were using the 420 lingo. Then one of the guys was like good friends with the bass player in the Grateful Dead. And he started like working with them, managing.
They'll do it.
And that's when it really went crazy. Yeah, that's how it went crazy. So the Grateful Dead also had a hand into probably making it more mainstream.
Give it up. Smoke some for the Waldos and the Grateful Dead, y'all. A little something.
Yeah, I didn't even smoke today. I was like, I have been busy all day, but I got
you deserve a little puff. Go ahead.
Got a little, you know, a little something. So, you know.
That's a good ending to end it like that with the 420 story. That was great.
Yeah, because I never knew, you know what I'm saying? Like I
never knew either. I just like, yeah, it's funny how like I never even thought about researching that. Like, why is it called 420? You know, like it's cold. Like, oh, we're about to do about to go smoke 420, you know.
Yeah, no, it's, you know, I
didn't think about it. I didn't like.
I'm just very
lost my mind.
Yeah, like very inquisitive. Like, why? Like maybe it's something I don't want to do. You know, like why would I celebrate in 420? And you know, I don't know. So I just was curious. And then I looked on YouTube and Forbes actually did a little snippet on these guys. So I thought it was a cute story. But what also tripped me out was the Coast Guard that got these weed plants, like the Coast Guard, United States Coast Guard, you had weed plants on the freaking ship and then you guys docked somewhere and went and planted them. Like, I don't know. It's just kind of interesting. They probably went to Colombia or Mexico or something and got the hookup and brought them back to the Bay Area. Like 420 came out of the Bay Area basically, which is kind of cool as well.
Yeah,
like the Bay has been revolutionary since forever.
Oh yeah. Well, you guys got the hippies down there too, though.
Yeah, especially the 60s and 70s. Like, I don't
Hippies
know.
love druggy drugs.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And so I don't know. I just thought that was kind of interesting. And then the other thing I learned today, I saw this girl, she's into vegan lifestyle or whatever, and she posted a video where she used rose petals as papers to like roll weed up. And I didn't know that. I didn't know you could. I mean, I've heard of people, using different things like that, but I looked it up, and rose petals are actually like they supposedly taste good. Like if you and people, put them on desserts and in smoothies and on salads. Like there's a lot of edible flowers, but you need to definitely check if you're interested in this. You have to look up the see if they're toxic.
That sounds like some money right there. That sounds like a rose petal company or something. Somebody better jump on that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, and then like I was reading, like there's there's so many varieties of roses, but they have like certain varieties that taste better and smoke better. Like there people are already on it. So I
Really?
actually wanted to do that today, but I'll do it tomorrow. I didn't have time to go to the florist, but I'm definitely gonna try it. I'm definitely gonna put my little rose petals on a baking sheet, dry them out, lick them up or whatever, however I'm supposed to do it. But I'm gonna check that out. That seems pretty cool. So that's my 420. Happy 420.
Happy 420, everybody.
Right. Very cool. Well, thanks for checking in with us. Non-Perishable Goods Podcast. We out.